What's up, folks? Welcome back to the channel. Boozer here. Thanks for stopping by. Happy Monday, by the way. Hopefully, you guys had a good weekend and a good start to the week going on right now. As for myself, I had a pretty boring weekend. I basically spent the last couple of days just sleeping. I'm trying to get over this flu that I have. So you guys might notice I haven't uploaded in the last couple of days. My voice sounds a little bit different. So yeah, just a little bit under the weather. So thanks for bearing with me. Today we got a little bit of Plarium news here before the start of CBC. So we'll jump into that right now. And here it is right above my head. So we got two different progressive events happening for CBC. Each of these events will last 24 hours. So this Tuesday, November 18th, we're planning to launch a progressive event giving you X15 chance to summon the champions of your choice from the selected pool from Ancient, Primal Shards, Sacred Shards, Void Shards. So on day one, we have Harima, Freya, Martyr, Bivold, Molly for the non-voids. And then for the voids, we have Krisk, Solus, Angar. Now we have a pretty defensive crop or defense-oriented crop of champions on day one. So first off here, we're going to start off with Harima. Very, very strong champion. I have this champion and she was a game changer. I have her for a long time now. Obviously on my account, she kind of gets buried under all my options, but if you have her earlier or still progressing through the game and you don't have that many options, she's an incredible champion, especially for a non-void. She's very, very strong. The big thing about her is that her passive is very strong. Enemy ignore defense effects are decreased by 50%. So for example, if you have like a savage set that ignores 25% of the enemy's defense, that no longer works at full capacity, it only works at 50% capacity now. And it's a global effect. It affects everybody and it affects everything like gear sets and relics and all that stuff. The really, really strong passive makes basically everybody hit much weaker since everybody relies on ignore defense nowadays, right? She comes with an A1 decreased attack. She comes with an A2 triple hit here that builds up her defense as well. And then she has an AoE that brings up provoke as well. Her AoE triggers if she kills somebody with the A2. Now her AoE is not super strong. Her multiplier on this is a 3.9, I believe, on the AoE. So it's about an average multiplier, but it does scale up after you start ramping up her defense up to 100%. This also has a decreased defense effect as well, up to 30%. So she deals more damage against a single target and her defense stacks up again. So in a longer fight, Harima deals quite a bit more damage. And she's always very threatening against the Demon Spawn faction, which cannot crit hit against her, and she cannot land weak hits against them. A very, very strong non-void champion there from Harima. Up next, we have Freya, Fate Weaver from the Barbarian faction. She was a Deck of Fate champion last summer for the Asgard Divide campaign. Very strong champion still. She's similar to Donatello, and Donatello was just a fusion. So if you got Donatello, Freya doesn't look as attractive, but without Donatello, she is very, very strong. She's got an A1 here with an AoE provoke. The provoke chance is kind of low. It's only 4% chance, but it does occur every time the shield breaks. By damage, it does specify by damage here. She does have an A2 that self buffs, increased defense, and then places a big shield. The shield is proportionate to her defense. And then she has a team-wide cleanse with a turn meter boost and a block debuff on a 3-turn cooldown, which is really good. So she can be your fastest champion. She can be your turn meter champion. She's 110 speed, which is the same speed as Arbiter. And yeah, she can be your turn meter champion, kind of sneaky a little bit. She provides good support here with the increased defense shield, and then she can actually hit decently hard with the A1, so you can actually build her for damage too. So she's a pretty versatile champion. Great passive here as well. She does increase her defense over time, and she has a 5-turn active effect here that basically protects the champion with the highest crit damage from fatal damage, which is really good. Also gives them an instant turn as well. So this can be really strong against champions that have single target nukes, and if they're not aware of this passive, for example. She has good base stats overall, great support champion, and yeah, she's going to be up for grabs on day one. Up next from the Sacred Order, we have Martyr, a very, very old champion here. She's 93 base speed, which is very painful. Honestly, she probably should be like 103 base speed nowadays. But you can kind of tell her base stats are very similar to Freya, except for the base speed. And the base speed is a big difference. She's 17 speed, a little slower, which makes her very, very slow. Her A1 brings a decreased defense here. Not too bad. It's a 75% chance of a decreased defense on A1 on a single target. It's not too bad. Got an A2 here with a 3-turn cooldown, increased defense, counterattack on everybody, which is really, really good. One of the few champions in the game that can place counterattack on everybody. And then she has a AoE decreased attack and a provoke as well on a 4-turn cooldown. Nowadays, this ability probably should be a 3-turn ability. And then she brings a defense in all battles 33%. Now she's a bit of an old, she's a pretty old champion, one of the first OP champions in the game. She doesn't really bring that much anymore outside of this counterattack ability that makes her special. Her base stats are fine. Her base speed is very bad. And she doesn't bring like a passive or anything. And this ability is very, very outdated nowadays. Honestly, she needs a little bit of an update, maybe a 3-turn cooldown here, and maybe some kind of passive that synergizes off of the counterattack. That would be kind of cool. And obviously this base speed upgrade. You can still use her in Hard Fire Knight for some of the slower counterattack teams, especially for Hard 10. It does allow some teams to go through. Otherwise, I would probably pass on Martyr here. Sticking with the Sacred Order here, up next we have Bivol of the Thorn. Now Bivol was a pass fusion as well. He has good support ability. He's got an A1 provoke. The provoke lands whether it's a weak hit or not, so that's really good. No affinity issues there. He has a 3-turn AoE provoke with Leech as well, so you got 2 provoke abilities here, and then he's got an A3 with the 4-turn cooldown. He's got an AoE attack that gives you a shield based on the damage dealt. Now the thing with him is that he doesn't deal a lot of damage, so the shield you get is not going to be huge. Also has a little bit of damage scaling here, but honestly he just doesn't hit really hard, so you're not going to get a massive shield out of it. There's a passive here as well. It reduces the damage of enemies with provoke. It kind of keeps him alive once he starts provoking them. Actually use him quite a bit for Hydra. Back in the day, he was like my main provoker. He brings decent support. He has the leech ability, which is good. And then of course the provoke can go through affinity issues and poison cloud, which is really nice. So I did use him for a long time for that role. Up next we do have Molly. I guess this is actually a provoke progressive, I guess. But yeah, these are pretty good champions outside of just provoke as well. Molly, very good champion here. She's a pretty big carry for me for a long time. I did use her for Hydra and a little bit of Arena before Stone Skin came into the picture. Her big move here is her 3-turn cooldown AoE provoke. Has a 50% chance of landing it for 2 turns, which is really nice. She also places a self buff on herself, so she could be a mischief target if you build her with the resistance. Does bring an A1 here. It doesn't really do anything. And then her A3 here has a 4-turn single target revive. Not the best revive in the game, but it's not too bad. And then she has a passive here, which is pretty nice. She does give extra turn meter when she is hit. It is on a cooldown though, so but she's pretty good generally as a an early game or mid game progressing champion. You can help in a bunch of different areas for you. She was huge for me for like hard Doom Tower and stuff, like any wave-based content. She's very strong. So after Molly here, we are done with the non-voids. Let's head over to the void champions here, starting off first with Krisk from the Lizardmen faction. Krisk, still the champion that can do so much and can easily build a team around him into basically any content. Yeah, so you got an A1 AoE, decreased speed, which is insane. It's a 50% chance. Very good A1. It's got an A2 here, AoE again, 3-turn cooldown, ally protection, continuous heals, and a buff duration increase, which is very good for those Wixwell teams. And then he's got another 3-turn AoE provoke, increased defense, increased speed as well. Extremely strong. And a passive here that passively lands decrease defense and decrease attack. And of course passively places the shield. The king of all the turtles, Krisk the Ageless, still here. Still great after all these years. Terrible base speed though. But I mean, he's a giant turtle carrying a giant metal shell. Why not? 94 speed. But he's still great. He's still here. And yeah, definitely somebody that can help out a lot of players. After that, we got Solus here from the Night Revs. Solus, another provoke champion here. I have Solus myself. He used to be the hardest hitting defense-based champion back in the day. I don't know, a couple of years ago. But yeah, he's pretty dated nowadays. Still not too bad. A1 stun. He's got an A2 here with the provoke and a chance to strip all buffs. Triple hit at random. He's got an A3 here. 4-turn AoE attack, increased duration of all debuffs on each target by 1 turn, then places a provoke on all enemies for 1 turn, places a shield on this champion, damage increases by 10% for each debuff on the target. So this ability can hit pretty hard, and he also brings some CC in his kit with the stun and provokes. Obviously, the kit is quite dated now. There's no ignore defense, no ignore stone skin or anything like that. Could be helpful maybe for faction wars and all that. Brings a little bit of control, a little bit of damage. Personally speaking, when I pulled him, it was way too late. I didn't need him anymore. I just don't really use him. There's a lot better Knight Revenants nowadays. But still, he's a void affinity damage dealer, defense base. Can be useful for some accounts. And the last champion on day one, we have Angar from the Orcs faction. I do have this champion myself. I've never built him out myself. Got an A1 extra hit if the enemy has a provoke debuff. All right, pretty weak A1. He's got an A2 here on a 3-turn cooldown. AoE places provoke, also has a 100% chance of placing the provoke for 2 turns instead. Sorry, it's only 75% chance, so no books. So he places provoke for 1 turn, and then he has 75% chance of placing it for 2 turns. Okay. Then places a reflect damage on all allies, and then places counterattack on this champion for 2 turns. That's actually not too bad. Yeah, that's not too bad. He's a void affinity, so you don't have affinity issues, and then you have a chance at a 2-turn provoke on a 3-turn cooldown. That's pretty decent. He's got an 8. He's got passive here. That's the only his only ability. He's got passive here. If an enemy with provoke attacks this champion, has a 40% chance of replacing it with another provoke for 1 turn. Also has a 100% chance with fully booked to placing decrease attack whenever one enemy with the enemy under provoke attacks an ally. Each hit taken will reduce damage taken by 5%. Okay, so yeah, so he continuously places the provoke. He can land decrease attack. I mean, his A1 sucks, but like his A2 is actually not too bad. I've never actually used this champion myself, but I would imagine that he just doesn't hit very hard. And as a control champion, it's probably not super impactful because you're still taking hits. But yeah, overall, I mean, yeah, he's probably not going to be like super good as a void champion, that's for sure. I feel like this guy was buffed at one point. I'm not too sure. Anyways, that's going to be day one. So for day one, I mean, if you guys are looking to pull, I definitely don't recommend pulling outside of fusions nowadays or any kind of events with kind of guaranteed champions. So these progressive events are big scams. Arima is a big, attraction. Freya can be a good attraction as well. And then obviously Krisk. Otherwise, there's not really too much going on day one. So I would say this is a full skip. Even though like whales participating in this, I think even whales would look at this and be like, nah, no thanks. There's really nothing to chase here on day one. So let's head over to day two and see if there's anything different. So day two, we have Stultus, Sun Wukong, Moto of the Pio, Goffred, High Keeper, Prisma. So those are the non-voids. And for the voids, we have Tramaria, Tunisia, Jin Wong. Again, this is a pretty weakish looking group of champions to chase. Not to say that they are weak champions, but I'm just saying in terms of if I'm a Kraken, I probably have many of these champions already and probably not looking to chase any of them. For non-voids, we have Stultus here. Very good champion, especially even for endgame players. You can use him for Hard Dragon. He just obliterates him because of his passive. He reflects poison, decrease defense, and weaken back to the enemy. So when the big dragon fires all the poisons at Stultus, he sends it all back. Best thing about this, no books, no accuracy needed. And yeah, he's great. He's great for that role. He can be decent for general progression. He brings 2 AoEs, got some CC in his kit, got some self-buffing. And he can deal an okay amount of damage for defense-based damage dealers. Good champion overall. Then we have, up next, we have Sun Wukong from the Skinwalkers. He's a free champion. One of the best, probably the best promo code champion you can get to start off the game. He's applicable from the early game all the way to the end game. In the early game, the aura is very important, very strong. You don't need him. You don't need to book him out for his debuff abilities, which is great. So you don't need, to book him out to get 100% or anything like that. Obviously, you need to book him out for damage. He gets quite a bit of damage from books. But if you want to use them, swap them over to like a full damage build, like in the late or end game, then you can do that too as well. He has a passive here that's going to be always useful, and if you can pick up a blessing for him, then he can help you land brimstone and all that, and help you kill bosses. He's an incredible champion, and it's crazy that they just give him away for free. But yeah, he's going to be up for grabs as well. Moto of the Peel. He's a partner with Esme. He's from the Ogrins, I believe. This guy here, Moto of the Pio. Supposed to be a damage dealer. He does have stone skin capabilities to go through. Yeah, go through stone skin capabilities. But he doesn't hit hard enough for this to be super relevant, I think. His damage increases by 75% when attacking enemies under stone skin. His damage is not strong enough to go through most champions with stone skin. But he can kill some of the smaller, weaker champions with stone skin, maybe the damage dealer. He also has affinity issues, so you have to run him into like basically the perfect magic affinity, low HP, stone skin champion, and then him to go first for it to be super useful. It does bring an A1 decrease defense, and then he has an AoE stun here. I mean, yeah, he can bring some utility, some damage. He's in the Ogren tribes, is a bit of a weaker faction as well, so he can be useful there. Up next we have Goffred. Goffred's very good. I love this champion. I use this champion for a long time. He's really good. He doesn't need books to be useful because main thing for him is his passive ability. If an ally is about to get killed by a fatal hit, blocks incoming damage and places block damage on them. So this ability is really strong. It's on a 4-turn cooldown. Doesn't have any books or anything like that. So you can definitely use him without any books. He basically protects presumably your weakest champion, because your weakest champion dies first, and then he will protect it with the block damage here, and then you'll get another turn. He does bring increased defense on a 3-turn cooldown, and he has an AoE 3-turn cooldown stun here, and he's got an A1 decreased defense and provoke. Decent champion, honestly, with no books, very decent. Can be useful for wave content or arena content. Very, very decent champion. And then lastly, for non-voids, we have High Keeper Prisma here. Cool champ. I like this champ. Looks cool. Has a really interesting passive here. It's a bit of an RNG, but he has a 40% chance to remove any block debuffs, replaces them with block buffs, also has a 40% chance to remove any buffs positively affecting stats and replace them with their mirrored debuff equivalent. So increased attack becomes decreased attack, continuous heal becomes strengthened, reduced to heal reduction and weaken. It's interesting. It's not a 100% chance to happen. It's only 4% chance to happen, so it's not ideal, but it's a pretty cool passive. He has a interesting revive here as well, in a 4-turn cooldown. Single target revive, big HP, big turn meter, increased attack, and perfect veil on them for 2 turns. And then he has a really good A2 here. It's a single target attack, but before attacking, strips everything from that target. Ally with the highest crit damage comes in and joins in. So they use the default skill and ignore 35% of the target's defense. So that's a pretty big juiced up buff for your ally. And if it kills somebody, you get the instant turn on that ally, which is really nice. So you can kind of set them up to do some crazy stuff. But unfortunately, like where you would think that this would be really strong would be like maybe somewhere in Hydra. You won't get the benefit of this instant turn because of the kill effect on the Hydra, unfortunately. So mainly kind of like for an arena purpose, perhaps, but hasn't really found a real role yet in this game, but a pretty cool champ nonetheless. Okay, let's head down to the Void champions here. So we have Tremera from the Dark Elves. So Dark Elf, Tremera, here you go. Got reworked not too long ago. Before she was complete garbage. Now she's actually quite decent. She has an AoE A1 decrease speed. Also has a chance to land fear, which is really good. This is a really strong A1. And then her A2 is on a 4-turn cooldown AoE stun with a turn meter pushback. So very, very nasty ability here. It's on a 4-turn cooldown. Unfortunately, Armands, we have Armands with a 3-turn cooldown, and it's a better one than this, but still this is pretty good to have this kind of package in the same kit. And then he's got an A3 here. Very good ability here. We got a 3-turn team-wide full cleanse with a turn meter fill and a block debuffs. And the turn meter fill increases for any of the hard CC that gets removed, and a smaller turn meter fill for other debuffs removed. So this is a really, really strong AoE cleanse. So you get the full thing here, AoE cleanse, block debuffs with a big turn meter fill potentially. So this makes her very, very strong. And then she has a passive here that makes her immune to any of this hard CC stuff. And then also fills this champion's turn meter by 20% whenever an enemy tries to place any of this stuff on this champion. So this actually works out really well in her kit. She also brings speed in all battles, which is really good. 105 base speed. This works out really well because you want to build her with basically, high resistance sometimes, so that she can resist any of this hard CC, so that she can come in and cleanse off your team, and then your team gets on its way. But in this case, she has a passive that protects her from a lot of this stuff, and then she also gets turn meter boost whenever the enemy tries to do any of this stuff with her. So it actually works out really well. It gives her a chance to cut in, cleanse off your team. Also gives her a chance to come in and even stun the enemy as well. And she has a really good kit for that as well. So I think her buff definitely made her very, very strong. And then up next for the Void champions, we have From the Skinwalkers here, we have the Fox, Tunisia. Tunisia, the best thing about her is that she empowers Marius, but she's a good champion in her own right. She's a damage dealer. She's a single target big smack here. Also has a chance to drop turn meter. Her big ability, I think, is her A2. She's got a 3-turn cooldown AoE attack with the AoE HP burn application. It's also an AoE stun as well. And then she got an A1 decrease defense here. She can hit okay, but I think the big thing for her is pretty much she can land the HP burn, which is really nice. She can actually land this HP burn through the poison cloud if you use her for Hydra. It's kind of weird that it works that way, but hey, it works, so we're not going to complain about it. But yeah, not a bad early game progression champion. And then after that, we have Jin Wan. Jin Wan here from the Shadowkin. Jin Wan. Once thought to be a total meme of a champion, now actually pretty good. He's actually pretty good. He's a menace in hard faction wars. You guys might have seen him around, but yeah, a little bit of a menace here. He's got an A1 chance to stun. Got an A2 3-turn cooldown, AoE attack, increased duration of all debuffs. Also lands block active, block buffs. This is a big ability, a very, very annoying ability on a 3-turn cooldown as well. And then he's got another A3 AoE on a 4-turn cooldown here. AoE twice, two times, sorry. The first hit has 80% chance of stripping all the buffs. Oh, that's nasty. Second hit has a chance of placing decreased accuracy and decrease crit damage. Also places strengthen on all allies. On a 4-turn cooldown, it's a little bit long, but it does quite a bit. It does a full strip, and then it lands debuffs, and it places bluff as well. And his passive here is actually quite annoying as well. This champion is immune to all this hard CC stuff. And then he has an active ability on a 4-turn cooldown. At the end of each turn, each enemy or ally removes all of this hard debuffs and then places block debuffs on them for 1 turn. So if you guys have run into him in hard faction war, you guys notice that you guys can't CC the waves right away because Jin Wan has this passive ability that places block debuffs and it removes the hard CC as well. So it makes him super, super annoying, super hard to deal with. Pretty cool champ overall, and a lot better after his buffs, way, way better. But still not really a champion that would really, go after, right? Like none of these champions in particular are champions that you really want to go after. I mean, unless you're really gung-ho about going for a +4 Sun Wukong, I think most people would probably just go for the Firefox. They'll just chase the Firefox to try to go for, the extra +4 Marius or empowerments for a Marius, right? There's just nothing to chase for on day 2 either. So it's a pretty easy skip in terms of, just pulling shards for the CVC, but I get why they're doing it. It's a personal reward CVC, so they don't need to give you incentive to pull your shards because you're going to pull them anyways if you're going crazy for CVC. But I highly recommend not doing so since we do have the fusion coming on the 20th. Anyways, guys, that's going to be it for the video. Hopefully it was helpful and informative for you guys. Now, we do have personal reward CVC happening in about 20 hours. I'm not sure if I'm going to be streaming it, so I might have to take the day off. My voice is not doing too good. So best of luck on your CVC matchups. All right, guys, that's going to be it for the video. Thanks a lot for watching until the end. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.